just talk about your speakers from the port that are going to be here. And Stan Shepard, who is from the Port of Seattle Noise Programs Manager, Linda Pellegrini, the FAA Terminal Radar Approach Control Manager, and David Sumi, who is the Deputy Regional Administrator for the FAA, is here. So we also have our elected officials here this evening, and I'm not sure if we're, oh, here they are, it's right here, okay. Okay, so first I want to acknowledge our elected officials who are here. Representative Dave Upthegrove, Senator Karen Kaiser, Representative Tina Morwell from the 33rd District, King County Council Member Julia Patterson, and Allie Larkin from Water District 54 Water Commissioner. So thank you all for coming. So first of all, I want to introduce Representative Dave Upthegrove, and would you like to come up and say a few words?
Well, good evening. We are all here tonight because we care about our community. We love our homes, and we want our families to have a decent quality of life. And as one of your representatives in Olympia, rest assured I understand how airplane noise impacts our lives and our peace of mind. I happen to be born and raised in Burien, in the shadow of the airport, and I now live just southwest of the new runway in downtown Moines. And while I'm not as impacted as many of you are, I do know what it's like to have to ramp up the TV volume every time a plane flies over, and I certainly know the challenges of trying to get a decent night's sleep. And our community has been down this road before. We've come together in the past to challenge the Port of Seattle, which operates Seatac Airport, on noise issues, environmental issues, and construction of the third runway. And we've seen grassroots leadership from community organizations like CASE and RCAA, which have the tables out front in the foyer. And all of the leaders have always stood with us. And I think of folks like Des Moines Mayor Bob Scheckler, Burien Councilwoman Rose Clark, who have put in decades of service and attention to this issue. I also want to especially thank Des Moines City Councilwoman Susan White for helping bring about these community meetings. You know, our community has been down this road before. I remember, for example, joining more than 1,000 people at Foster High School 10 years ago, probably including some of you, to testify against a state permit for the third runway. And all of this kind of reminds me of a famous quote by a poet named Edna St. Vincent Millay. And she said this, and forgive my language, "Life isn't one damn thing after another, it's the same damn thing again and again." But our community has a proud history standing up for ourselves, for speaking out. And quite frankly, we've never really been sure if anyone was listening. But tonight, however, we have representatives with us from the Port of Seattle and the Federal Aviation Administration who are here to listen. And they're not here because they have to. They're volunteering their time tonight because they want to. And the folks you'll hear from tonight are hardworking, honest professionals who are here as our guests to share information and to listen. And they are committed to making sure that everyone gets their questions answered and that everyone is heard. And to that end, if we run out of time before you're able to ask your questions, we'll have note cards on the tables by the door where you can leave your contact information and your question. And we will work with the Port and the FAA to make sure your questions do get answered. And so I'm very appreciative of our guests for their willingness to join us, and I hope we can return their courtesy by being respectful and welcoming to both of them. And the meeting tonight is also a chance not just for us to share our views, but for us to listen to them and to listen and learn and ask some good questions. And I hope we leave here tonight with a better understanding of issues such as who decides where and when airplanes fly, what are the current and future plans for runway use, and who decides who gets noise insulation and how does that process work. And finally, I'm grateful, very grateful to all of you for coming tonight. You know, I believe we come from a community that has shown time and time again that we care, that we're willing to participate, and that we will come together to protect and improve the quality of life in our community. So to end, I'd like you to please give yourselves a great big hand for being here tonight. Thank you.
I did kind of forget to introduce myself. I am Susan White, and I am a Des Moines City Councilor. Well, we have a little secret that no one knows about, probably not very many people, but there's a few of us that know. And in introducing our next speaker, Senator Karen Kaiser, we want to wish you a happy birthday. It's her birthday today. Who wants to start?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Karen. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Did we embarrass you?
You did embarrass me, yes. That's okay, I don't mind me. I mean, what kind of life do I have? I'm here at a town hall meeting on my birthday, but I'm pleased to be here. Because in my other life, I work as the chair of the healthcare committee, and I've been going to a lot of town hall meetings on healthcare, so I'm looking forward to a nice, calm town hall meeting on the third runway. So anyway, thank you all tonight for coming out on a busy, cold night and engaging, doing your civic responsibility with public officials and the Board of Seattle and the FAA. I'm here really to listen and to hear what you're going to inform us about so we can take that as your delegation of the 33rd District, your delegation down to Olympia when we go back into session in January. We've been working on these issues for years, as Dave mentioned. These are not new to us, but they have really been sharpened in the last few months as the third runway became fully operational. And as it became operational 24/7, although we were in the understanding that it would be a runway that would be used during severe weather and difficult weather events, not 24/7. So we have many concerns about how this runway is being operated, about our community surrounding this runway, and we have a lot of questions. For instance, during the building of the first and second runway, the Port of Seattle was able to work with the FAA and relocate more than 1,000 residential residents and the families that were in those homes. More than 1,000 homes were bought out, and as you know, we have a large area that has no community left. It's really fallow ground. When my son ran it as cross-country team, they used to call it the ghost town when they ran through it. But you know, for the third runway, which is being run pretty much like a regular second runway or first runway right now, they relocated. They only took 100, really less than 100 residents out of the area, both of the north and south combined. More than 1,000 were taken for the second runway. It's a disproportionality that concerns me because I've sat there at 188th and the Des Moines Memorial Drive intersection at the light, at the red light, watching buses and vans and cars full of people sit there as planes zoom in for their final landing just about 100, maybe 200 feet above my head. I just wonder what kind of public safety is that for our community? I am very concerned about that. And I do have real questions about our sleep, because when you have planes flying at all hours, and I live in Des Moines, when we have planes at all hours, our community has a lowering of our quality of life. It's really hard to get a decent night's sleep when the planes are always running. So those are issues we need to hear about, and we need to hear from you. And as I said, after we get information we can gather together from our own meetings, from our questions, and from the questions you bring forward, we'll be developing legislation in Olympia, working with the delegation, and working with all the supporters we can find to see if we can't address this in the legislature as well. Thank you again.
Thank you.